pick a spot on a map. Any spot. It can be hundreds or even thousands of miles away and accessible by anything from long stretches of highway to gravel roads, city streets, or freshly laid pavement winding through scenery worthy of an Ansel Adams photograph. Got your spot picked out? Okay, now, quickly, make a list of the bikes that can get you there, comfortably, quickly, and with the electronic wizardry to keep things from getting too interesting along the way. We're not the gambling type, but we'd bet money that your list is pretty short. We'd also bet that somewhere toward the top of your list you've written down Ducati Multistrada. And for good reason. After all, Ducati's Multistrada has almost since its inception been the best option for riders who like their sport bike performance wrapped up in an adventure bike guise that enables them to tackle hundreds of unrestrained miles with relative ease. Combine litter bike-like horsepower with a competent chassis and an expansive electronics package that includes the recently added semi-active skyhook suspension, and it's clear why the Multistrada has continually been such a huge success for Ducati. Of course, it bears mentioning that much of the Multi's success came before BMW pulled the wraps off its new S1000 XR, a lighter, more sport-oriented adventure sport bike than the R1200 GS that the Multistrada had gone up against in years past. So perhaps the question is, even with a newer, more sport-oriented adventure bike to go up against, is Ducati's Multistrada still one of the best bikes for getting you from your driveway to that faraway spot on your map? To find out, this past month we picked up a map of our own and dropped a pin on the spot where we wanted to go, then drew up a route that included everything from long stints on the highway to canyon roads and city streets cutting through sleepy towns. By the time we completed the near 400-mile route on each bike, one complete loop on the Multi and then another on the S1000 XR, we were pretty sure we had the answer. First, a quick look at the competitors. BMW's S1000 XR is an all-new machine but utilizes an engine not all that different than the one in BMW's S1000R Roadster, which really is not all that different than the one in its S1000RR. The XR's and R's cylinder head ports are modified a bit when compared to the RR's, and valve lift is different, though big numbers like bore and stroke are the same. With the XR's more adventurous intentions in mind, however, BMW has developed an all-new aluminum frame and increased structural rigidity of the subframe to accommodate extra cargo. Additionally, when compared to the R, the XR has more rake, more trail, now a whopping 117 mm, plus a 65 mm longer swing arm, which contributes to the bike's 109 mm longer wheelbase. Suspension travel is 5.9 inches front and 5.5 inches rear, versus 6.7 inches front and 6.7 inches rear on the Ducati. Standard features of the XR include ABS, 2 riding modes, rain and road, and ASC automatic stability control, BMW's basic traction control system. The optional Pro riding mode makes 2 additional riding modes available, Dynamic and Dynamic Pro. Both have more aggressive throttle response and include Dynamic Traction Control and ABS Pro, which is BMW's version of cornering ABS. The XR also comes with BMW's HP Gear Shift Assist Pro for clutchless shifts in up or down direction, as well as BMW's semi-active Dynamic ESA electronic suspension adjustment as an option. Bear in mind Ducati is not putting some long-in-the-tooth Multi up against BMW's new XR, rather a heavily updated version that now features everything from Desmodromic variable timing (DVT) engine to a Panigale cold inertial measurement unit (EMU) that measures roll, pitch, and yaw. A Bosch Brembo ABS 9.1 ME cornering braking system. Cruise control. Ducati wheelie control (DWC). Ducati traction control (DTC). A 20 mm longer rider seat that's height adjustable. LCD dashboard. And windshield with new adjustment mechanism that enables 60 mm of vertical adjustment. Still with us? Cool, because on the S model tested here Ducati has made even more updates, not the least of which includes larger, 330mm front brake rotors that clamp onto superbike called M54 piston calipers. The BMW's rotors are 320mm. A Ducati multimedia system (DMS) that enables Bluetooth connection between the bike and a smartphone. Sachs electronic suspension with semi-active Ducati Skyhook suspension (DSS). Full LED headlights with Ducati cornering lights (DCL). Forged wheels. And a full-color, 5-inch TFT dashboard. Also on the S model, the new EMU works with the Ducati Skyhook suspension to enhance its operation, which basically means more performance in any situation you land yourself in. The semi-active suspension on both the BMW and Ducati continually makes adjustments to compression and rebound damping while riding, though on the Ducati it is possible to adjust base settings for both the fork and shock so that the starting point is closer to how you prefer it. Optional settings for either end include hardest, harder, default, softer, and softest. And it's possible to customize each riding mode ahead of time with the settings you'll like to use for different sections of your ride. As an example, we customized Sport Mode, one of the 4 riding modes, with hardest base settings for the canyon riding we knew we'd be doing, and touring with softer base settings for our time on the highway. Along the same lines, we adjusted the 8-level traction control and power delivery as you'd see fit for the extremely diverse riding situations we'd encounter on our route. Creating these custom modes took mere minutes, with the Multistrada's new handlebar switches proving extremely intuitive and the S model's sizable dash making running through menu options rather straightforward. Sure, all of these adjustment options seems extreme, but the benefit of the multi-system is that once you've spent the 10 minutes to customize each mode, you almost never have to go back and make changes. You've basically got a personalized mode for every type of situation you'll encounter.